All right, first Coin of Destiny flip for the 2019 Beer in Review episode. What are you putting up?
We want to go low to high, start off with the cans, go medium, low, high.
Okay.
We'll start can versus can.
Can versus can. All right. So we have Odd 13 Stands Still India Pale Ale.
And I have Lawson's Sip of Sunshine IPA.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can actually catch it this year.
Oh, dude, I totally thought you were going to lose it.
And, of course, you won.
Sweet.
So our first beer for this episode is Sip of Sunshine from Lawson's. From the basement of the Hopheads Guide to the Galaxy world headquarters located in northern Colorado, this is the Hopheads Guide podcast. I'm Matt Reber.
I'm Brown Jake. On this episode, we reflect on the choices we made in 2018 and the ones we hope to make in 2019.
Hey there, Hopheads and Beer Geeks. Welcome to another episode of the Hopheads Guide podcast brought to you by Beards by Nick. With me, as always, is the man who isn't allowed to sit on Santa's lap anymore, Jake the Brown Guy.
Exactly for that reason, because I bring in beer. And I ask for weird stuff. Like, why do they have to call it a double IPA? It's just a regular IPA.
So you're not asking for Christmas gifts. You're just asking for...
like world peace and fucking figure out this hazy shit.
No more hazy beers.
No, they could be hazy beers. You just have to have a better classification.
Why are they always putting haze in my beer?
What is this, like an aftermarket? It's like, where can I go to the supermarket and buy haze? Can I haze up my soup?
Can you have hazy soup? Everybody loves a good hazy soup.
You gotta love a good hazy soup.
Yeah, so last year we had a nice guest. We had Nico, the hippie, joining us for our year in review episode. But we invited Nico and Pebble to join us this year, and both of them had tummy aches and weren't able to join us.
Yeah, they were a little bit pukey.
Poor guys.
Poor guys. They're too much making out with each other.
I knew that's where it was going to go.
Well, you wonder how they both got sick, unless it's going around the whole like craft beer industry, which would be weird.
Well, Blake says that he was in Vegas and like he got back and
so he got the wrong cooker.
He just got the Vegas flu is all he got.
Okay.
He probably, drank out of a dirty glass or something and just got the Vegas crud. Nico, on the other hand, I don't know what he just has the hippie flu.
Well, yeah, he has 2 kids, and I don't think they ever bathe like him. So,
It's true.
Yeah, it always like every time I hang out with Nico, his kids always seem like they're sick, and it kind of makes me worried. Like, you gotta bathe them every once in a while, keep off the germs.
Or at least Nick needs to bathe every once in a while.
Probably.
So. But I'm not one to talk because I'm still getting over my crud. So,
and what you do, you went and you played with a kid.
That's true. I got it from a kid.
Yeah, see?
Most likely.
Do you think you get over 40 and you build these natural immunities to the common cold that little kids should get?
Right.
When you're a little kid, you got those common colds, and they just, and as you grew older, you stopped getting those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now you think, I could play with my kid. They're sick. I won't get sick. And then you're fucking in the bed the next day. Oh, I feel like shit. Goddamn little shit. I never went and played with them. Why did I, he put that ball in his mouth and gave it to me. And I was like, oh, yeah. Stupid.
As soon as you see him sniffle, you have to just say, nope, you get away from me.
Freaking spray him with Lysol.
Get away. But it's the end of the year. We made it through Christmas.
Yes.
We made it through fantasy football season.
Yes, we did. Some with the trophy, some without.
I noticed you wore your champion shirt today. Was that on purpose or was that just a happy accident?
It was actually I'm out of clean shirts. This is my last one. It was a happy accident. I seriously am out. I forget. I haven't done laundry in like 2 days, and I was like, well, I'll just wear one of my podcast shirts, and I have plenty of them. But I was like, oh, they're all dirty, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just wear this one. And then once you mentioned something, I was like, oh,
It does say champion.
it does, and I am a champion.
Well, congratulations on your defeat of my team. I'd like to say that I could have done something differently to beat you, but I just couldn't. Your team was pretty awesome this year.
Yeah,
so.
they actually rocked it pretty hard for me. I'd like to give a big thank you to Patrick Mahomes, and another thank you to CJ Anderson. If I was allowed to technically send you guys beer in the mail, I would. But it would probably get like diverted by somebody else, and you probably would never receive it. So
Some of their entourage.
I know, like, hey man, this guy Jake sent you beer and put just a bow on it and says thank you, big hugs.
Well, Mahomes is still with like his high school girlfriend, so I'm guessing that she probably keeps a pretty close eye on stuff that gets sent by the mail. So
yeah.
I'm sure he gets plenty of inappropriate mail packages.
And you get a box full of beer, and she's probably like, it's kind of heavy, and it sounds like liquid. That's Rex. And she probably throws it and shoots it. Oh, honey, it was some WeldWorks.
I don't know what WeldWorks is, so
I don't know what WeldWorks is. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes knows what WeldWorks is.
let's hope that he does.
You got to think, when a brewery makes $3 billion in a year,
Yeah, they did have at least $3 billion days.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
But they spent at least $1 billion of that buying the town of Greeley. So,
Well, no, I heard the state of Colorado gave them the town of Greeley as a tax write-off.
just donated it to them.
Pretty much, because, the state of Colorado's in debt, so we need something for next year's taxes.
Yeah, that's true.
So they gave...
It's only going to get worse.
They technically gave the town of Greeley to WeldWorks, but the mayor does not have to go online to reserve any mini noche from now on.
That's
what I
a
heard.
pretty sweet deal.
Yes, I would give them a town for that if I owned a town,
It's totally worth it.
especially Greeley.
We're giving you the key to the city
And
as long as we don't have to wait in line for your beer anymore.
and you could keep the key. It's your city.
And quite literally, it gets you in any building in the city. So if it's late night and you want to go into McDonald's and make yourself a hamburger, go for it.
We thought that would be just really easy to get around, and then we thought about it, and it became a really big security issue. But we just kept it that way. That'd be really fucked up if they're like, here's the key to the city. It lets you in every door. And thinking about this, as I give you the key, we figured it was a very, very bad idea.
So as per our bet, do you have any ideas of where you're going to send me for your beers yet?
Not yet.
You're just going to wait until the time comes?
And see, the whole bad part, you always do really well traveling around. So there's
Right.
always times you update me where you're at and say, hey, dude, I'm here. And they have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard for me to send you out.
Well, if
and
I'm
take
already out, then
Yeah.
I still have to buy it for you,
Yeah,
so it
that's
still
true.
counts. So
So I may just you may be somewhere and be like, hey, I'm over here. But then I'm going to be like, well, that's cool. But can you run over here
yeah, you're going to send me across town.
and go get me this?
That seems about right.
But you do, like, that's why I think our friendship works out pretty well, because you could be somewhere and I do the same thing. It's like, and they'd be releasing something. Oh, you're releasing a sour blah, blah, blah. That's shitty. Matt might like it. Let me text Matt and see if he wants one of them. And you do the same thing, like, oh, barrel-aged barley wine? You know who would love that. Brownie.
Yeah.
And so once you sent me that text that day, I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I did not know that they're releasing one.
Yeah.
So it was awesome that I got to even get one from you and even get to try it. So that was...
And it was an excellent beer, too.
Oh, yeah. It was
I was
awesome
very
beer.
excited
So,
about that beer.
I was contemplating, I was putting a list down of like, maybe if he's off, he could go to Outer Range for me, or when he's down in Denver, there's that Cerebral release, or so. I don't know. It's kind of, a weird line of yeah, you're gonna send me a text. I may send you somewhere close to where you're at because there's a beer I really want to try for them.
Hey, bet's a bet. So wherever you send me in the Front Range / Denver area, I will go
Yep.
because I have to, and I also have to take a video of myself saying this is for the champion.
To the bartender and have him shake your hand and say, "Too bad you lost."
Wait, no, now you're just adding things to it.
Oh,
That was not part of the deal.
We can go back to the recording.
So normally this is where I'd say, well, what has Pebble and Nico been up to? But since they're not here,
You have that up there.
that's on our show notes.
Nico would make some statement and Pebble would make a pun to Nick's statement right now.
I had such a good pun like ready for the intro too, just because Pebble was going to be here,
Yeah.
and I have to hold on to it for next time.
If we get
Such
the new
a shame.
soundboard, we should have a button that's like Pebble's puns. And we just press it, and it's one of Blake. We like take all his puns and separate them, and they just do random puns. Pebble's puns.
Welcome to Pebble's Puns Corner. So this week, they've kind of been talking about it for the last few months, but I think they made it official this week that the Brewers Association changed the definition of a craft brewery once again to accommodate Samuel Adams.
And goddamn Sam Adams.
And also to accommodate some of the breweries that are brewing something other than just beer. Some of the breweries that are doing ciders and meads as well. So I think we finally reached the point where the Brewers Association now is just trying to pad their stats.
Yeah.
And they can also qualify cideries, meaderies, and these big guys lump them into their stats and say, hey, look how good craft beer is doing.
Oh yeah.
Whenever really now they've padded it with other things.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm leaning one way or another. I think you got to look. Sam Adams seems like every time the definition changes, it's for them. As a Brewers Association, you're a business and you're trying to keep your largest donor happy.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
or your largest shareholder, sorry, I don't know, say donor. But I think at some point you have to say, hey, no, sorry. You're not a craft brewery.
Yeah.
You make a lot of beer. You're a big brewery.
Well, and the biggest change they made this time really was to accommodate breweries that are using things outside of the traditional ingredients for beer.
Yeah.
Hops, barley, water. And so they've kind of adjusted that now to allow some of these more adjunct breweries and breweries that are doing hybrids, doing wine beer hybrids and cider beer hybrids. And so I get it. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to make sure that their numbers are growing faster than what commercial beer is growing.
Yeah, and I can understand it, but and it comes to the argument I've seen all the time, like the little upside down bottle on the beer. There is very select people that are looking for that. There are some people that don't. I mean, you hear people all the time that go and buy Golden Road and say, hey, yeah, I'm buying local craft beer, which technically they're not. We get Golden Road out here. It's made in Fort Collins, and same thing with some of their Goose Island beers. And so I don't know. I could see they're just trying to get larger groups saying, hey, we are representing you, but I'm feeling like sometimes there's guys that are in that have been in that for a long time, that are small mom and pop breweries that maybe did not grow in the past 10 years, but are happy about it, that are just getting overlooked because, they're just not focused on that. They're trying to get the main number to be this huge number when it really doesn't have to be. Represent the people you have. Don't keep, trying to, we're going to have these guys and these guys and these guys because Big Beer went and bought a freaking orchard, okay. So let them go buy an orchard. You know, you don't know what happened. What is going to happen? What if they, join forces with, buy out Jim Beam and they own Jim Beam now? Are you guys going to go and say, oh, we're going to do distilleries now, and all these mom and pop distilleries are going to get added in so we could look better? So
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it's something that the Brewers Association is making a point to grow,
yeah,
and but also include those who have supported them through the years. So it's totally understandable that they would make adjustments to continue to include breweries like Samuel Adams and breweries that are not entirely bought out by larger conglomerates. So, when they changed it to as long as you're 25%
yeah,
independent, you're still considered independent. Then, that was an adjustment made to a very specific group of breweries that's were part of a larger group of or a larger organization.
Who do you think they got them all together and say, hey, well, we got to make this ruling? And they're like, well, who's really has somebody invested in them? Okay. How much? 75%. Okay. Well, what we're going to say is, as long as you're not 25%,
Right, right,
as long as
yeah.
you own 25%, you're still independent, which that's not really right. And if you want to be still independent, it probably had to be like 51%,
Yeah.
You could be sold out 49%, but as long as 51% was not sold out, it was still original owner, original blah blah blah, local blah. Even if it was brewery owned, New like New Belgium, they could get an investor come in and buy 49%, but they would still be considered a craft brewery. When you start getting over that 50%, after that, somebody else is making the decisions, and it's not the local guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's somewhere worked in their contract, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's something that's going to continue to happen. Brewers Association is continually going to adjust that target to fit what helps their agenda the most. And I really don't care either way. I really could care less what they call a craft brewery, because I'm still going to just continue to drink the beer that I love.
yeah.
And so it's not really going to adjust my behavior at all, but it is going to adjust how I look at those numbers now when they say craft is growing.
Yeah.
Because right now the craft number is kind of stagnant. I mean, it does continually grow incrementally over the years, but it's not growing at the high percentage that it was growing, say, 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And so it's going to continue to chip away at the large commercial breweries, no matter what. But it's not going to do that at the level that we were doing 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. There's probably not a chance.
No.
So, and it comes to shelf space.
Yeah.
Who owns the most shelf space? I'm sorry to say, Big Beer.
Yeah.
And they always are, because they pay the most to the guys that sell their beer.
Yeah.
So, but I could see where you're going. So, so actually, this may come from a prediction, a 2019 prediction before, and I'll see how your feeling is. Great American Beer Festival next year. Do you think there's going to be more breweries involved or less breweries?
Next year?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it'll continue to grow.
Okay.
You mean more than what there were this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to grow. You're still going to have more breweries trying to get involved in Great American Beer Festival.
Okay.
No matter what.
Do you see some of the bigger names pulling out, or more of the Colorado people saying, like we saw this year? We saw it seemed like more Colorado people were like, they're going to be coming by our place anyways. We don't need to be pouring. I
was actually surprised by how many Colorado breweries were there this year. I think what it's going to do is it's going to open it up to a different avenue of craft.
Okay.
So now you're going to have craft meaderies and craft cider
Cideries.
companies there. So now where we had these special mini beer festivals that were the Jameson area or the Buffalo Wild Wings area, now you'll have a little mini mead festival within Great American Beer Festival or a little mini cider festival within Great American Beer
Yeah,
Festival.
and that actually make it pretty cool. But I still didn't travel the whole thing, so I really don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
It seemed like it got a little too big for me this last year. I was hoping, compared to the past years, I felt it was like a little too overwhelming. But I could see doing minor things to keep the multiple day people happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. We just got a text message from Nico that says he's feeling better.
I know. Text him, what are you doing right now? And can you be here in 20 minutes? So and I can see where you're coming from. They did really good this year of doing different little events. I thought the Jameson thing was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
I thought that really brought a different atmosphere to GABF. I think the Melvin bus is kind of overrated now. They just need to get off my lawn and pack up and do something different. Buffalo Wild Wings, I heard mixed reviews. I think if they're going to do it next year, they really got to get their employees more knowledgeable on the beer
Right.
that they're going to be serving.
Yeah.
And I come to find out if you actually volunteered at the Great American Beer Festival, if you volunteer, you could go to like a back side entrance of Buffalo Wild Wings and get wings for free. I did not know that. So...
If you were a volunteer?
Yeah, if
I didn't know
there was a
that.
different volunteer line, and they gave volunteers one, not just. I guess they gave you like 3 wings. If you stood in line, they actually gave
I
volunteers.
think it was 2, yeah.
Like 6
You got a wing
wings.
and a drum, basically, yeah.
And they gave them like 6 wings.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah, going on side.
Huh.
Yeah, the guy told me, he's like, yeah, we have to go to this back entrance where they're making them, and you go back there and get them, and then you're getting like you got to go behind some curtain.
That's interesting. I don't think a lot of volunteers knew about that because I saw volunteers standing in line.
Oh yeah,
And I'm guessing they spent their entire break.
no, he was like, oh yeah, they did this separate thing for volunteers because they wanted to make sure they didn't have to stand in line and waste their whole break. Because some people are like, oh, I don't get dinner for this, so I'm just gonna go get me some wings. And they're standing in line, and one guy was like, oh, what are you doing here? Come over here. That way you could still go drink beer.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Good for them. All right, so let's talk a little bit about last year's show and the goals and predictions that we had for last year. And one of your goals was to lose 50 pounds.
yeah, I'm close. I'm like 49 and a half pounds away.
But your 2 primary goals were 100 new breweries and to attend or host a bottle share.
Yep.
And you knocked at least one of those off the
Yes,
list.
I did. 100 new breweries. I marked it off my list. I haven't got that bottle share going. I keep inviting people. Is it a share if you're by yourself? Can you share?
Technically, that's a bottle share. You're sharing with you.
No, that's pretty cool. Because every time I look in the mirror while I'm drinking one of my beers, doing a bottle share,
Right.
I look kind of depressed. No. So, yeah, we did the bottle share, which was, I thought, a great success. I was hoping to have more than one under our belt. We did the Hopheads, what do we call it? The Hopheads Beer Fest or the Hopheads Guide to the Galaxy Beer Fest? Or,
Yeah, I don't remember what we called it.
So that was fun. I had a great time. I thought that was really cool. Opened my eyes to do's and don'ts of a bottle share.
Yeah.
And I would love to have more coming next year, maybe on a quarterly or every other month basis. I think would be a good time.
Yeah, I hope that we can do at least 3 or maybe 4 this year.
So
That'd be awesome. I had a great time. I think that it was a successful bottle share. And with our group of friends and acquaintances and people in the industry that enjoy beer, it makes for a really interesting mix of beers.
Oh yeah.
You've got everything from, at least from our bottle share, we had everything from like stuff that you could just go buy off the shelf
Oh yeah.
to some very rare, hard to get beers.
Yeah.
So it was a cool mix.
So I thought it was well done, well received. I think we could just work from there and plan better.
Yeah.
But and to go with the other goal, so I did get at least a quarter of the way through.
We knocked out 25 today, right?
25 was today.
Okay, good.
I thought it was 24, but going back through my numbers and talking to Abacus, our accountant, I was wrong. There was one I skipped over. I did not count as a new brewery, and that was Red Truck Brewing.
That's a new one, yeah.
Yeah, it was a new one. And so I'll go right down the list as in order of me visiting them throughout the year. So number 1 was Green Earth Brewing in Greeley. Veteran Brothers, Big Thompson, Buckhorn, New Terrain, Barrels and Bottles, Golden City, Mountain Toad, Cannonball Creek, Holiday, Bierstadt, Our Mutual Friend, Rally King, Coal Mine Avenue, Someplace Else, Downhill, Barnett and Son, Dads and Dudes, Alpine Dog, Distill Alley, Ursula, Bandit Oak, Dos Luces, Red Truck Brewing, and today, number 25, Timnath Beer Works.
That is still a pretty good list, man. 25 new breweries in a year is pretty awesome.
And that's not like only the breweries I went to this year. I went to multiple breweries. It just happens that those were breweries I've been to before.
Yeah.
So I was trying to reach 100 new breweries to me. One you thought I should put on the list and I didn't was Lost Highway. I've been to Lost Highway before, but they were at a new location now when we went to go record. I did not count them. But I did a top 5 of my 25. So out of my top 5, Veteran Brothers was number 5. I really love their atmosphere. I love their location in Johnstown. Their building is really cool. It's really open, big. They have a big garage door.
In the summertime, it's basically like an outdoor brewery. I mean, the doors make it feel like it's completely outside.
They make really good beer. Popping into the top 5 today is Timnath Beer Works. I was really impressed with their beer. I love their location. I love like that whole building. They have a lot of room just to kind of host different stuff going on in there. And I see wonderful things coming in the future.
I agree.
Number 3 was a kind of out of nowhere, Someplace Else. I really love that place. I thought that place was just off the wall. I love the whole decor that they had going with the Colorado Mountains and the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon looking like it was about to crash, and all the cardboard cutouts up above. Made the place really unique, and all their like sci-fi names they put with their beer.
Right.
Number 2, I got to give big props to our friends at Coal Mine Avenue. I thought they really came in strong this year, even though they opened the second half of the year. But even after our initial visit, I've been down there 2 more times, and they are really doing it right. They have really great beer, a really awesome brewery. They keep changing it up, but I love just the dog park idea, man. They really get the off-leash dog park going, and people really love that place. And they're still doing, really great things.
Yeah, the growler you came and shared with me was excellent.
Yep.
What was the name of that beer?
That was Peabody.
Peabody, their
Hazy New
England style IPA, yeah.
And then for number 1, the place that had probably some of the best beer that I had last year, and I thought was a really cool brewery, was Bierstadt Lager House in Denver. I love that
grown-up amusement park.
Yes, that slow Pils Porter, or slow Pils Pilsner.
Slow pour Pilsner,
yeah. Was, oh my God, probably one of the best beers I drank last year. I just love that beer. It's one of those that if I could get close to that place, I'm going to go have one.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But like how you said, a grown-up amusement, not just like with the games you used to play when you were a kid, it's games just bigger. Like throwing basketballs into drums instead of playing beer pong, you're playing basketball, drum ball, and then, big, sacks of
Throwing beanbag chairs.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. That place was, I thought it was a whole lot of fun. I would love if I could throw myself back in time, like turn myself to 20, I would live right down the block from there. Just because I'd be there every single night, you know?
Yeah.
And not be able to drink because I was 20 years old. So that'd be, I turned my clock down on 21.
So you could go back and be like, I can't wait till I could go there.
This place is so cool. Just at the door. 9 more months.
So one of your predictions last year was there would be lots more breweries opening in Colorado. And that is an exact quote.
And
I think that, if you define lots by at least 20 more breweries, then yes, you were right.
Lots.
Yeah. I think last I looked, we had 28 new breweries this year.
Yeah.
So, lots more breweries have opened up in Colorado. You also predicted that Nico still won't know shit about beer.
And we had a chance to have him on the show, and to let you know, he probably still doesn't know shit about beer. He probably learned 2 things, and one of them was probably like, yes, there are hazy IPAs.
Yes, that's true.
And 2
True.
was like, do you know beer now comes in a 19.2 ounce can? Yeah, Nico, it's been a long time.
True.
They're called stovepipes. I don't know why.
Yeah, so really, I think that all of your predictions came true.
Yes.
I think you did really well with your predictions. Congratulations.
South High Five.
Yeah. I surprisingly managed to avoid the predictions question altogether last year.
Yeah, somehow you just smoothed yourself over.
Whenever you asked me about predictions, I changed the subject completely and managed not to do any predictions.
You're like, Nico, are you wearing shoes? So what's your prediction? Nico's going to wear some shoes?
Look over here.
Look over here. Look over here. I got a beard.
But I did have one big goal that I wanted to accomplish that year, and that was to become a BJCP certified judge. I am happy to announce that I am a recognized judge. I passed the test. I am now recognized.
Like by a certain individual? like Dave at the liquor store?
There's a guy that knows me.
You're one of those judges, aren't you?
But I'm not certified. I'm not certifiable just yet.
Oh, man.
Mainly
you have
because
to take an OSHA class for that?
I just didn't judge enough competitions this year.
Okay. So to actually, you passed the test.
I passed the test.
But to get certified, you have to be a judge in a competition.
You have to have at least 5 competition points.
Okay.
And have gotten, at the very least, a 70% on the test.
Okay.
I passed the test. I did okay on the test.
71%.
I did get more than a 70%. I can tell you what, but I passed. Let's just say I passed. It's a tough test. It's a very difficult test. But I didn't get enough competition points.
Okay.
So
you only did 2 judges.
I did
right?
2 competitions, yeah. And one of them I went early in the year and I didn't even know that I was supposed to make sure that they logged me in for BJCP so that I would get the points. So I didn't even get credit for that.
Oh, so you lost points by technical error.
Technically, I lost points, yeah. And then the second one, I learned that I was supposed to make sure that they logged me in, and I did, and so I at least got points for that one. So I need to get a few more judging. I need to get more competitions in just because it helps a lot, just to have done them.
Well, yeah,
but also to get the points that I need to become certifiable.
Well, maybe next year we'll have mini judging shows, which I'll go get 5 beers of the same style.
Yeah, I don't know if the BJCP is going to recognize those.
They better
but...
fucking recognize it. It's going to be recorded. I will document it. I am a certified fork truck train the trainer
Yeah.
by OSHA, and I have a certificate to show them that I can do this shit.
But you're not really certified.
Yes, I am.
You're certifiable.
No, as OSHA, only classification and certification is in fork trucks, and so I am a certified fork truck trainer.
Okay.
Everything else they don't certify, but I can certify you as a judge.
Can you?
I don't know. I don't know what. Who does the BJBC stuff? Is that Brewers Association? They control that stuff.
Well, BJCP is their own organization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they organize themselves
Yes.
or recognize themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have. I still need to do some more competition. I still have a lot to learn. The fact that I passed the test in no means makes me a good judge by any means. Honestly, the test was so. I'm also an aviation mechanic, and I thought that would be probably the toughest test I would have to take in my life. Taking that test. So to become an aviation mechanic, you have to do a written test, which is 500 questions that you have to get an 85 or better on to even pass. And then you have to do a verbal test where you're sitting in a room with a person who is asking you questions, and then you have to do a practical exam. This whole process takes about 5 days. I thought that test was probably one of the most grueling things that I had done in my life in terms of trying to get through it and passing it. BJCP was tougher.
Oh, Jesus.
It definitely was. Because you are sitting on a computer and you have to answer all of these questions in a certain amount of time. And, I mean, basically you have... some of the questions you have less than 3 seconds to think about them and answer them and get them right and go through it. So you're, it's not, there really aren't any like trick questions, but there are a few on there where you have to like stop and think like, okay, wait, it could be this one, but I think this one's more likely.
If a plane was leaving Chicago at 85 miles per hour and another train was leaving Denver going east at 95 miles per hour, what would you classify as a Pilsner? Wait, what? Why is A, B, and C all numbered answers and D is slight hoppiness, but a crisp ending? Oh, my God, I'm going to do 95.
It's 95. Definitely 42. It's 42.
It's definitely 42. This is why I got a 71%. I kept going with B. 75%, 32% of the time, B is the right answer.
Well, even though Nico's not here, I'm still going to let you know what his goal was, and we'll just see if he was correct. Nico's goal was to be more supportive to Brownie and Reber's goals.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like he was very supportive.
Yeah, I mean, he asked how I was doing. He didn't really support, like, hey, dude, what are you doing today? Let's go to new breweries. Or like, hey, dude, why don't you come over? We'll have a bottle share. So no, Nico failed. Yes.
I also never got invited to any New Belgium tastings.
Oh, I don't think they have them.
They don't taste their beer.
No, they don't. Yeah, that would have helped you out here. Yeah, Nico really failed. Damn you hippies, always backing out and stuff.
And his prediction for the year was big name craft breweries are going to make a comeback.
Like big name, like what?
So like the Sierra Nevadas, the New Belgiums,
I
the Oscar Blues, the Odells,
I think Sierra Nevada did a late push, and it's more recently what they're doing with the campfire. I think
they've been in the news more.
Yeah, but I think people are kind of putting both together. They're probably going and saying, oh, hey, that's that brewery that's raising money and probably maybe buying more of their beer.
Yeah.
When they go to the liquor store. So I saw kind of a big push by Stone. New Belgium, I don't know. I think that I've seen them kind of topper out. I see them not really more or less in any places.
Right.
So I have seen like Fat Tire get pulled off a little bit more, but it's always replaced with another New Belgium tap. Well, Dell's, I think they made a bigger splash for them by opening their Denver location.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that helped them out quite a bit. I don't think it's a huge push, but nothing major.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still think the smaller guys are still making headways and, becoming this, dominant small force in craft beer.
Yeah, I think the tap room only releases that a lot of breweries are doing this year have really put a dent in the commercial breweries who primarily sell their beer in liquor stores now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm with you. Like, yeah, everybody
we need cough buttons over
I know.
here.
So we can have fake coughs. We don't have enough coughing this episode.
Not fake coughs. It mutes the mic so you can cough.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go the opposite way. When we have that episode when we don't have enough coughing. Maybe that means like I need to use the bathroom. Are you ready to flip for another beer?
Yeah, let's flip for another beer. So the first one was a winner by you, of course.
Of course.
Sip
I'm
of
just
Sunshine.
winning this year.
Dude, you always win the coin flips. I swear this fucking coin is weighted one way or the other.
Did you flip it before our championship game? Going, who's going to win the championship? Fuck you, coin. Fuck you. I never win those.
If that was the case, that coin would not exist anymore. I think it would be crushed.
I'd come on like, I thought we were going to do the coin of destiny. Coin of what? Coin of succeedy.
So are we doing Wiley Root versus Wiley Root?
Why not?
All right, let's
Seems
do it.
fitting.
So I'm putting up my Catacombs Society 2016 Dichotomous Beans, an Imperial Stout with vanilla beans and coffee. And you are putting up Dark Premise, Imperial Stout aged on Law's whiskey barrels.
Yes.
I kind of hope that one wins a little bit. Probably will, because you always win.
I was like, so you saying you hope I win? And flippy. Oh, no, Budweiser.
Holy cow. I pull out a win.
Oh, Dark Premise goes back into the cellar.
Oh, that's a good one. So Dichotomous Beans was release number 5 from the Catacomb Society that Wiley Roots did 2 years ago.
Which was, I thought, a great idea to have, and I wish they would did it every year.
I loved it.
I was going to join in 2017, and they stopped.
Yeah, they decided not to do it again. I'd like to see it make a comeback. I think it was something that was very unique. It reminds me a lot of Black Projects, Roswell, or whatever they call their club.
I don't care. It's Black Project.
Yeah. So
you lost me at Black Project.
But their club is pretty unique, and I really enjoyed how they did this club because there was enough bottles to go around.
Oh yeah.
But then there were extra bottles that members had an opportunity to come back and purchase as well.
Yeah, there was always you're like, oh hey dude, I get a chance to buy this one beer. Do you want some? And I was like, hell yeah, I want some. So I kind of I didn't join in 2016 because the list that he had for what beers you were supposed to get, out of I think the 6, I think only 2 were really like, oh yeah, I really want to try those, and the rest were sours or a variant of sour. So I was like,
There were several sours, but there were also some really good stouts in there. This is one of them. This beer was probably one of my favorites out of all of the releases, and I set one aside specifically because I wanted to see this one. The coffee was already not really prevalent, so I felt like if I aged it, I could do it well without it going green pepper on me. So I'm kind of curious of whether it's going to go that direction. It's still got a great vanilla aroma. Even with my stuffed up nose, I'm getting really good vanilla aroma from
it. It tastes smell quite a bit of bourbon off the nose. with the vanilla beans. Really good still. Holy crap.
Yeah, it is really good. It aged pretty well. The coffee did go a little bit green. Little green pepper.
But I don't think it had that heavy enough that it's not too...
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not by any means. But, yeah, so Wiley Roots is another one that, they're expanding this year. They just brewed their first batch in their new brew house. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2019 for those guys.
Yeah. Best of luck to them. I counted them out this year. I'm sorry to say I did not visit as much as I did in 2016 as I did in 2017. There happened to be another little brewery that opened up there and has actually been kind of getting more of my attention in Old Wild Work. So it's kind of tough for me to... I used to try to stop by both places. Right now, I will only stop by one.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. But all of the best to Kyle and, his staff of Oompas. But I'm with you. Actually, I was looking at my list, and I did my top 5, but I forgot to say I did have honorable mentions. And there's 2 breweries on my honorable mention there that I thought if I was able to visit the whole 100, they would make the top 10. And one was Banded Oak. I thought when we went there to go visit before GABF,
Yeah.
I love that place. It had really great beer. I thought it was tiny, though.
It is tiny.
To me, it was not like the open atmosphere like Veteran Brothers or even Timnath Beer Works or even someplace else, But they actually make really great beer. So that was on my list. I would love to go visit there again. And the Dos Luces. So I thought that was...
Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
That was actually a really unique kind of take on beer. I'd like to see people trying to say, hey, we're not going to be your old everyday brewery, or not even going, oh, we're just making lagers, so...
but they're just making chicha and other...
But there's not any other breweries making chicha. So
right.
They're another brewery. Like, I would love to visit again, maybe next year before GABF is.
I would like to go back there as well. I was also pleasantly surprised by that place. It was something that I had never experienced before, flavors I'd never experienced before, and I was a little leery when we got there and realized that it wasn't an actual brewery. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, we're here. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to try it.
Hey, man, I needed to get to my 100. Right then, I think I was at 18.
Let's talk a little bit about the beers that you did have in 2018, and what beers really stuck out for you in 2018.
Well, a lot of them that stuck out that actually were good trade beers or beers that I got off of trades were guys from, and actually they won mid-sized brewery or small brewery of the year was the guys at Root Down. Yeah. I did get quite a bit of those from my BTF Scott, and I was just, dude, I wasn't like fully blown away by every single one of their beers, but by some of the beers that I was blown away by and the ones that I wasn't, but they were still solid beers. Like their Pilsner is a great, great Pilsner. It's not one of those that I'm like, oh, I got to have not like a beer stout slow pour pills. Right. But I mean, it was almost wishing these guys were in Colorado, that I could go and visit their brewery like High Hops and WorldWorks, like an everyday kind of go grab a beer kind of thing. Right. And I could see why they won that in that category, because they were making some really great beer. Yeah. Stuff that really, there wasn't stuff that really blew me away like offhand, but I think lagers was kind of my main focus this year, and a lot of good people came out with a lot of cool, good lagers, like the cold one from High Hops. I think they really did a great job with that, and doing a 30-pack under $20 right was an awesome idea.
I saw that coming.
Yeah, so but even when you went to their tap house, they would have the cold one and maybe like 3 other different lagers on tap. and just doing different stuff with lagering. And so I love to see what they did there. The one beer didn't really just stick out of like, oh my God, that was the best beer ever this year.
Right.
So I can't really say like, I just had to have more. I was just happy to see different variants or different combinations of different things here and there. So, I mean, you had WeldWorks, 100 different beers that they wanted to do. When I got to like 75, I started getting bored with it. It almost
took
seemed
you
like
that long?
Yeah. It almost seemed like it was just Galaxy and Nelson that they're putting in with something different or doubling it up so I just kind of was like, oh, what's their new IPA this week? Oh yeah, I'll pass. I think Space Cowboy was for me one of their better of the 100.
Cosmic Terreno.
Was yours?
No, that's Space
Oh,
Cowboy now.
Oh, whatever.
You're not allowed to call it Space Cowboy anymore.
I can call it Space Cowboy. I can fucking call it Space Cowboy all I want.
You'll get a cease and desist letter.
Fucking the cease and desist shit. What are they going to be like? You got to take that podcast off the air.
I personally, I had a couple beers that just really stuck out in my mind this year. One of them is from WeldWorks, and that's their bourbon barrel-aged Media Noche that just released a couple weeks ago. I got to try it at the brewery, and it was an unbelievably tasty beer.
Oh, the brandy one?
The bourbon brandy Media Noche.
Yeah, you suck. I haven't got to try that.
That beer was insanely good. Like, it was just a great balance of vanilla and kind of almost like a tanniny from the brandy barrels. But that Media Noche stood out in my mind as one of the best beers. Now, I agree with you that the other 99 beers that they released this year are kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
There's only so many hazy IPAs you can do.
Yeah. Juicy Bitch, double dry hop, Juicy Bitch, double dry hop, Galaxy Juicy Bits,
Now, I will say that anytime double dry hop Juicy Bits or extra Juicy Bits comes out, I'm jumping all over that.
If it's double dry hop Galaxy, that's my jam.
Yeah.
And I will buy a whole case, and I will slowly drink it until it gets that sweet spot, and then I'm finishing off the case.
Yeah.
Once it hits that sweet spot, that's done. I'll drink 5 a night, but I will slowly drink 1 a night until it gets to that point.
Yeah.
This seems like anytime they put that out, they put it out way too hot. It seems oversweetened. It seems like the hops just need to settle down. And we saw that when they were doing crawlers. I think I was actually there. I picked up crawlers for you, and you're like, man, this seems... It's like, yeah. And I just put one in the back of the fridge. And it came to that point, like, oh, shit, I forgot about that. And it was like 3 weeks later, popped it open. And I was like, oh, now this is...
Perfect, yeah.
It's a totally different beer.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that I'm excited for is they've started doing kind of a throwback or traditional style selection where they're doing ambers and lagers and things and kolsches. And so they're at least reaching back into the recipes of the home brewing days and realizing that these are styles that need to come back. And then they've started the singular focus, which is something that, Odd 13's been doing for a long time with their Hop Troll series. But I like the singular focus. I like the single malt, single hop beers, because you get to understand the characteristics of that hop.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say that I feel like the Hop Troll series are better.
Okay.
Because I think the base beer for the Hop Troll series is a little bit more suited for the smash beer type style.
Okay.
The singular focus, to me, so far the ones that they have done, they've done a Simcoe and a Mosaic. I think the malt build in it is just a little too overpowering.
It's not complementing the hops.
It doesn't really complement the hops that well. Yeah. So, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Neil here.
I'm glad they're doing it. I know Neil listens to our podcast
Oh yeah.
daily.
Well, we have to.
So-
We always have to send them the early release before we get the cease and desist order.
Yeah, I mean that's just. But you got to give a lot of the beers that they came out with this year. You definitely have to give them some recognition for it because there was a lot out of the 100 and some that they released. I would say at least 2/3 of them were really good beers.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, they're still putting out fucking really, really good
Yeah.
beer. And they changed their focus and like towards it. It used to be like you go in there and it was pretty much stout, hazy IPA, or a goza was all you could drink.
yeah,
And it was like, well, I don't want a hazy IPA, and I don't want a stout, and I don't drink gozas. Oh yeah, there's nothing for me to drink here. And they started doing a lager and a Kolsch and starting to add those onto it that it made it kind of nice, like you go in there and be like, oh yeah, your hazy double hoop Mario Kart beer is still too hot. But you made a lager. Awesome. I want to try that out. And,
Yeah.
their lager was
Yeah.
really well. Their amber lager was on point, So, I don't know. I just see those guys just keep pumping out really great beer. I think they're going to be one of those breweries that you can't stop them.
yeah. We're lucky to have them in our backyard.
Yeah.
Joining us today, we have the man behind Beards by Nick.
Hello.
Nick, thanks for joining us. Talking about your beard products, you just rebranded everything.
I did.
And it looks really great, really clean. All the packaging is plastic instead of the glass,
It is.
which I like.
I do too. Sadly, glass, although, supposedly more recyclable, is not because it takes more energy. So
Yeah.
I had to bite the bullet and go plastic because it is more recyclable, and I do care about those types of things. And it's lighter. It's easier to ship.
And I love the spray bottle.
Yeah. Actually, that was because of you. You said you always take yours and put it in a spray bottle. So I started doing some looking around. I was like, let's try it out, and I'm really happy with it. I use it every day. And
When the old beard oil bottles had the little dropper in them.
Yeah.
And I had the bad habit of just kind of putting the dropper in there, not really screwing it back on. And then I would do something and swipe my hand, and it would hit the dropper, and there went the beard oil.
And you're quickly like, trying to scoop it
Yep.
up in your hand and rub it through, and you're like, and it'll go in the hair and everywhere, everywhere.
And just rubbing my arm against the counter, my back, and everything. It was pretty fun.
So this was also to help stop that, because I do the same thing. You forget to screw it on all the way, and then you bump it, and you're like, well, damn it.
Now I could just spray it up in the air like perfume and walk through it.
You could, yeah.
So you have 2 new products.
Yeah.
Of the newest products. One of those being the beard wash.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm actually really super excited about this. I went through a couple of trials, and I just got tired of not being able to wash my beard, because you should not use hair shampoo on your beard. It's not formulated for that. They're different.
I think a lot of people with beards don't realize that.
They don't. It's so your head hair actually needs a lower pH, and your beard hair needs a higher pH. It actually strips all the oils and makes it, wear a black shirt and you look down and it looks like it snowed on your shirt from your beard. You don't want that. So this is an all-natural one. There's no crazy chemicals or anything. Yeah,
Looking
he's
to
got a
make
clean
sure-
shirt.
Making
Yeah.
sure I have a clean shirt because I'm wearing a black shirt right now.
Yeah. So
Good product.
everything was carefully chosen for beards specifically. There's oil in there, different vegetable saponifications. That's a fancy word for soaps.
Okay.
But it's formulated pH-wise and everything just for beards. Should not be used every day. If anybody's thinking like, ooh, I'll just wash my beard every day. Like every
Right.
3 to 5 days is good.
Yeah, I'm a 5-dayer.
Yeah, I'm like a 3 to 4 day, or if it's like a really bad day at work and I have just all sorts of crap in my beard, then it's going to get washed.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I love about your products is your ingredients you can actually read and understand.
Yeah.
There is no phosphates or any of the other things that I read the side of a bottle and I go, oh, that can't be good.
I don't even know what that is.
Right.
I'm a chemist and I don't know what some of those things are. You read it and you're like, I got to go pull out a book because I don't remember what that is. So, it's all, the goal was to be just as natural and healthy for your beard as possible. I use everything before I let it out to the public, and it goes through a couple of trials. So if I'm not happy with it, it's not going to be on your beard.
So check out Beards by Nick. Where can they find you?
It's beardsbynick.squarespace.com.
One of the other beers that I was really excited about this year was came from GABF, and it was Brewing Projects, Things of That Nature.
Okay.
It was one of their hazy IPAs. It's very memorable to me simply for the fact that how I just kind of stumbled upon it and how great things just kind of happen at GABF just because you just walk up to a brewery that you never heard of. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Brewing Project is out of Wisconsin, and I was over in that region, and just kind of I liked their sign. That was really the reason why I went over there. Was their sign was sticking up, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Like, because the way they spell it, it's project, but it's with a K. And it's the K is backwards, and I was just kind of like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I want to I'm guessing they do crazy beers,
Like
just
Blair Witch Project kind of way.
yeah. So I went over there, and that IPA was a highlight of the festival for me.
Nice.
I went back to it several times, and so that beer in particular was one that I really enjoyed this year.
That's awesome. I mean, eventually drink enough, you're going to be in the basement peeing in the corner. If you haven't seen Blair Witch Project, go and watch that, kids. It'll freak you out.
It will freak you out. And then when they start adding all the other sequels to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those movies I saw when I was in college. That really fucked with me. That was one of those, I was like, this is the weirdest fucking shit I've seen in a long time. And yeah, I couldn't go camping for at least a year.
Well, and that was Paranormal Activity before
Paranormal Activity, way before Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
So they did a great job. If you haven't seen that one, I would get out there, rent it, watch it, share it with your kids.
You probably can't even rent it anymore. You have to go on iTunes and buy it.
Yeah. Do they do rentals anymore? Is there a Blockbuster?
No, I think the last Blockbuster actually died.
I know. Poor Blockbuster.
I think 10 Barrel did a beer for the last.
Oh, yeah, for the Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I love about breweries. You see these different names of different beers that go off of either it's like a hip hop song or they do Fiction. I think Fiction does a great job with their naming and their branding of their beers, doing on different books and themes of different books. And then Turning Point, man, they're actually, when we got those beers from Robert with the beer boxes going forward, I am looking forward to try to get more Turning Point up here from him, because I think they do a great job of their branding, but also making really good beer.
Right, yeah.
That's one brewery right now that is blowing up on Instagram. All the beer people that I follow, they are getting Turning Point and going, holy shit, this is a really great beer.
Right.
And I was like, hey, fuck you. I had that. We had that on our podcast.
I knew about them a long time ago.
2 months ago, you dickwad. Not my fault you got a 1,000 followers, and I got 92.
You don't have boobs, dude.
I
think now on Instagram, like the only thing people follow on Instagram now is if you're a hot chick or a dude with freaking six pack.
Yep.
Like that's the only thing people follow.
Maybe I'll just do that. I'll make me a shirt that just says, "This is my six pack."
You just have a six
and
pack.
it's a picture of a six pack.
That's a good one.
This is the only six pack I have.
I'm shocked by how many beer babes, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm air quoting beer babes, there are on Instagram now. Like very attractive girls that claim they drink a lot of craft beer.
Yeah.
But really it's just them taking pictures of them in a low cut shirt,
Oh yeah.
you know, and drinking craft beer. Now, I don't hate it. I still follow them.
Well, yeah. I still look to see if they get an update every day. But it
But
also
there are a
goes
lot
after
of them
the
out
8
there.
different swim models I'm stocking right now.
Well, and we had Alyssa, you know, we had Alyssa on here earlier this year, and you know, she's one of those girls who is followed by many, but she doesn't
Oh yeah.
she's not one that like exploits herself to do it.
Yeah. She
You
does
know,
a really
she's
great
not
job. She
wearing
did,
the low cut shirt, or you know, she's just doing her job. She's just a brewer who just happens to be an attractive woman who brews beer.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she did, I think, one video I watched of her. She actually got Brooklyn Brewery started delivering or distributing in our area. She went and grabbed a 6-pack and just popped each of them open and drank it while she was recording. She did it
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's really good. And you don't see them do that. You never see these girls like, they'll go, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking all right, but what are you getting out of it? Like, it's a hazy IPA. Are you getting a lot of citrus? Are you getting a lot? Do you know what hops are in it? Do you know what a citra hop is? You know. So it was really cool that she, as a brewer, could break it down. Like, oh yeah, I taste this and they're brown, or I taste this and this. So I was like, oh, that's what's going to get her more followers than.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna do videos and be like, Brownie's reviews. That's good.
You just need a low cut shirt when you do it, and you'll be fine. Get you a V-neck.
Well, I have those stretched out collar ones, so I'll probably just wear those. I'm not going to go buy new shirts for a video.
Just get a deep V, dude.
Just really,
Good
just totally deep V.
You go deep V all the way. Your fucking hair's sticking up out of it.
I may part it and then put like a Sharpie and be like, "This is Brownie's cleavage."
Just cut the V into your chest hair.
Stop. This is how deep it. You want to know how deep this V goes? How deep it goes? That's good.
That's terrible.
I'm
gonna unfollow you now.
I'm gonna
just
have
so that I don't have
93
to see
followers
that.
on Instagram next
You
year.
might get You might get up to 93. That's good. It's a good possibility.
I've actually gotten quite a bit here in the last like 2 months.
Well, I started 3 accounts and I followed you on all 3.
Oh, well,
So-
that sucks. Now I'm kind of depressed. It's like scoring 71 on my BJC test. I'm not quite a winner, but I'm not a loser.
I'm recognized. You better recognize.
You better
son.
recognize that you got a 71.
I didn't say I got a 71. I said I got above a 70.
71's above the 70. God, do I need to bring Abacus in here for that? He's somewhere in here. Making Chinese food, I think. I can smell it.
Hey, listen. You're not allowed to disclose your score. It's against the regulations.
That's bullshit.
They'll take away your recognition if you.
I'm
if
looking
you
up on their
disclose
website if you could disclose our score. I'm going to actually see as a media personnel if I could request your score because I don't think you asked.
It's, you can probably bring it in under the like one of those acts where you know they have to share the information.
I know. As part of the
The
media,
right to know act.
as a brown guy in media, I really need to know about Reber's score. Why? So I can make fun of him on the air.
It's a good thing the government is shut down right now.
I'm sorry, because of the government shutdown, we can't give you his score.
Well, hey, speaking of the government shutdown, the TTB is shut down as well. So with the TTB being shut down, that means no new breweries,
What?
no new licensing, no
What?
new barcodes.
What?
So I mean, for as long as the government shut down, we will not see any new breweries.
This is bullshit. All just because of one wall.
You should write a strongly worded letter.
Strongly worded letter.
It's not a wall.
I'm going to send it. It's going to be, what? That's all it's going to say. Dear Trump, what? From Brownie.
That's probably not a very good idea.
He'd be like, I think this guy's trying to kill me. Find out who this Brownie guy is.
We need to build a wall around him.
Yeah. This is why? And he's going to, this is why I want to build the wall. Dickhead, I've been here for fucking 6 generations. What?
What?
That's going to be my next series of videos. I'm going to drink a beer and go, what? And that was good. Good. Low cut V-neck shirts. Instagram, here I come.
Oh, boy. You're going to be a sensation, I can tell already.
9 guys you don't want to follow on Instagram. Brownie. Coming in at number 9.
It's going to be in Men's Health. 9 people you don't want to follow on Instagram. And you're going to be number 1.
I work out every day. No, I don't.
No, I don't. But I wear deep V's anyway.
To show off my hairy chest. Because girls love that. And I know craft beer. That's good. I could taste the citra in that. It's a stout. Do we get on to next year?
Hang on, we haven't even got through this year yet.
Are you still going through this year's stuff?
No, we still got, well, you talked about your favorite breweries from
Yep.
this year. I haven't got
Okay.
to talk about my favorite breweries.
Well, how many new to you breweries have you been to?
New to me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't even count this year.
Oh, you fucking loser. This is what happens when you focus on doing a test.
So one of them does stick out. I
Okay.
mean, Outer Range, of
Oh,
course.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that one was new to me. That definitely sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful place to go. Not only being in Frisco, Colorado, but also just their tap room is really cool. They have the little beer garden yard area that's awesome, and their beers are amazing. Honestly, Southern Swells, when I went to Jacksonville,
Okay.
that one sticks out in my mind as well. That was a new brewery to me. They had great IPAs. They had really good IPAs. And I think that's a brewery that you might hear a little something about later on. Like that might be a brewery that becomes a sought after IPA brewery. And honestly, man, it's not a new brewery, but you got to give props to WeldWorks this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, their invitational was talked about on like every single
Yeah.
beer blog, beer magazine.
Even though we didn't go, we still talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, well, some shit we missed, Not like we're local people. We're right down the street, could cover your shit. And our 82 followers could fucking hear about it.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to spend that amount of money to go to a beer festival that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
A new beer festival like that, for that to be that high of a price, even though I knew the people at WeldWorks were going to do it right, I did not want to spend that much money.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I couldn't see pulling out the checkbook for that.
Yeah.
And, writing a bad check. Yeah, I had to do that for other stuff like taxes and fucking plates.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to spend that much money on a beer festival.
Yeah.
When I just didn't, like I said, I just didn't know anything about it. So, but now that I've heard a little bit more about it, I've talked to people that have gone and heard how well they did with it. It might be something that I bust out a few bucks and go do next year, as long as it doesn't fall on my wife's anniversary again. That was another big reason.
Wasn't her birthday?
Her birthday, yeah.
Her anniversary of her birth.
The anniversary of her birth.
That she celebrates a whole month of.
So as long as it doesn't fall on my wife's anniversary. Gotta say it again. My wife's birthday. As long as it doesn't fall on my wife's birthday next year, I'll probably go. And, I guess maybe that probably should have been the biggest reason why I didn't go. Not the fact that I didn't want to spend the money.
1, I didn't want to spend money. 2, it was on my wife's anniversary of her birth. Well, that should be reason 3.
Yeah.
It was on my wife's anniversary, 2 of her birth, 3. Wait, that should be number 1.
All of the above.
So it was her birthday. Well, yeah. It should be number
The
1.
anniversary of her birth. That's how it works.
So out of the festivals you did go, I think we went mostly to the same ones, except for Denver Beer Festivus.
Yeah.
Would you do it again? Collaboration Fest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the other one was only Burning Can, right?
Burning Can, hands down, best one I went to this year. Loved it. I'd do it again in a second. Yeah.
I think that for me, I think Burning Can was that was my second time going, but I would love to go to it again.
And next year we'll only be more prepared. I mean, I think we were pretty well prepared this year, but I think next year we can go even bigger. Now that we understand how it goes and like how everybody sets things up in terms of like setting up their tents and things, I think we can go.
I think expanding to 2 places instead of 1 campsite.
Yeah, maybe do 2 campsites. Bring your like shade area.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I think we do it up right this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for Burning Can this year.
I'm totally with you. I think Collaboration Fest and Denver Festivus were done by the same people. I think they did a really great job. I would like to hearing about what collaborations are already getting started right now and what breweries are collaborating. I'm looking forward to Collaboration Fest again.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things I would love to see next year. I think one of my goals is to hit up one that we haven't been to in years is Gnarly Barley. I'd like to really like to try to hit them up next in 2019 to see how that beer festival has changed, because I think it's been like 5 years since I've been to it.
It's been longer than that for me.
So
the first year was the first time I went, and that was in 2008.
Yeah. So
it's been 10 years since I've gone.
Yeah. So I'd love to try to go back and see how it's changed. One thing I missed was I was hoping Windsor would have done their little park festival like they did last year.
Yeah, I missed that one too. I wish that had happened. I feel like that maybe last year was kind of a dud, and they didn't feel like it was going to be successful this year, when really all they needed to do was just move it up about 2 weeks.
Yeah, move it to sometime in the summer.
Right, and it would have been fine.
I think they would have had a great time.
Yeah. That one was a little bit of a disappointment. I can't think of any other ones that we missed out on Big Beers and Barley Wines.
Yep.
We'll probably miss out again this year.
And barrel aged Fobab.
Fobab, yeah.
we got the invite too, but we couldn't make it happen. You got sick. We were supposed to do the family trip, but the kids got sick, so it ended up being that we couldn't make the trip out there. So it was kind of hit or misses, but you have to do that. Hopefully our listeners know this is not our full-time job. We just don't go around drinking beer, writing about it, talking about it. We have jobs, and I have 2 kids. Matt is a kid himself. And so it is pretty tough for us to actually try to do some extra stuff like how Matt said, I wasn't willing to spend for the Wild Works Invitational. Dude, I'm like looking going, man, that's like a third of my daycare cost. Ain't no way for a week I'm going to put that down for a beer festival ticket.
Right.
Unless the glass I get is made out of gold, and I could resell that for half the price of the fucking beer fest ticket.
And you guarantee that I won't have a hangover the next day.
No, I can't guarantee that.
But that's what I expect for that expensive of a ticket.
Oh yeah, there would be a guy knocking on my door 8:00 in the morning with an IV to hook up to my arm.
Here's a breakfast burrito and an IV.
Here's Qdoba, like how you like it. How do you know I like? I know.
Just no. It's my
No,
job.
no egg. And let me hook up this IV and just like sit there going, oh, no hangover. Awesome. They do that in Vegas. That should be in.
Freaking
We should start a little service that does that.
the hangover service.
The hangover service. Here's a breakfast burrito and some Gatorade.
All right. All right. So I guess now we can move on to next year. Oh no, wait.
Last recap.
I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
Were there any beers that you had this year that are super highly rated beers that you got to try and you were really disappointed by?
That's a good question. I wish you told me this beforehand so I could have went back to what the beers I had this year.
It was in the show notes. Biggest disappointments, overrated beers for 2018.
Oh, I thought that was me talking about you.
You read it as overrated beards for 2018.
I'm just saying.
Biggest disappointment. Yes, you were my biggest disappointment for 2018.
Offhand, I think I went into 2018. It wasn't a goal to not overhype anything. I tried not to stand in the lines and make sure I had a bottle of something. One of my, I don't know if I could put that as a big disappointment, but that vanilla mini noche, but it was infected.
Right.
It was the $55 bottle of beer that I had to wash my mouth out with scope to get the bad taste out of it. It was one of the worst beers, and I was totally looking forward to that. That was going to be my New Year's Eve Eve beer. And I popped it open, and technically it would have been 2017 because I popped it open on there.
I wasn't going to mention that part.
I was pretty pissed off about it all through at least the first part of 2018.
So you were disappointed well into 2018.
Oh yeah, it made me really disappointed. So because you got to think, you spend that much money on a fucking beer and you pop it open, you should hope that it at least does not taste infected.
Yeah.
It could taste off. It could, the vanilla dropped out or some bullshit like that. But I could be upset about that. But have it taste that bad.
Yeah.
That it just ruined everything else I wanted to drink that. And it was New Year's Eve. I had New Year's Day off. So I could have went and had that and then something else and something else after. And, slept in, which I have kids, wouldn't happen. But I could at least had the other things, which it ruined my whole fucking night. And so if you think it's New Year's Eve night, that just ruins everything you had planned for what you wanted to drink that night.
Yeah. So one that sticks out in my mind is a brewery that last year I put as one of my breweries to watch in 2018, and that's 450 Norse Cocoa Nuggets.
Okay.
That was one of their chocolate stouts that they had, cacao nibs and all these other things. 450 was one of the breweries that I really enjoyed in 2017 and was very excited about to see what they did in 2018. And it it was a big disappointment. That beer was actually almost undrinkable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad. It was I don't think it was infected, but it was definitely not right. It just was not done well. The body of the beer was really thin and almost watery. I didn't enjoy it. It was a big disappointment for the year, and I had hyped it up in my own head and hyped it up getting excited about it just because I had had so many beers from that brewery. And then once I finally got to try it, I just wasn't excited about it at all. So that was my biggest disappointment for 2018.
I'm sorry, dude. You want a hug?
I am going to need a hug. I'm a little emotional about that one.
With your raspy voice, it made it really sound
I'm sorry. I'm choking back tears right now.
It made it sound like you're about to cry on the podcast. I had so much invested in that beer. It was supposed to be so good. It's like sounding like about your childhood friend that just recently died. He was such a great guy. He was always there for me. It was just too overwhelming, too much coconut. Like, oh man, I feel depressed for you, man. I really don't want to drink that beer either.
All right. Well, now that we've gotten over that emotional moment, let's move on to predictions for 2019.
My prediction: there will be many, many.
That's good. I like it.
No, so for craft beer, one of the predictions I have is I think the haze craze will slow down. The lager craze may gain steam.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that a lot of people are expecting that this year.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it earlier with the 100 beers that WeldWorks released this year, and I think that I think you can only do a hazy IPA so many ways. There's only so many hops to put in it, and eventually, I think that's gonna fade away. I don't think it's gonna fade away, but it's gonna fade out.
Yeah.
To like where now it's just a normal beer. It's just we make a hazy IPA.
Yeah. I mean,
At least I hope it does.
For Weld, like they have something. Juicy Bits is a great solid beer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry to say,
I haven't had one in months.
really, buy one all the fucking time. Every time I go in, I buy a 4-pack. I always have one in. I have to have a 4-pack of Juicy Bits because I'm sorry to say, for me, all last year, that was kind of one of my go-to beers.
See, for me, it's codename Superfan.
Well, I could never find anytime I bought Superfan, unless you buy it from Mod 13, there's so many breweries or so many liquor stores that had it. I tried buying it at different places. I could never get and I'm sorry to say, super fresh Superfan. And I don't mean like super fresh within like a couple days. I'm talking in a couple months.
Yeah.
And that's what I was disappointed about because I tried buying one and it was just did not taste right.
Maybe because I always go to the brewery to get it. Maybe that's the difference.
So, yeah. For me, I always bought Juicy Bits from the brewery.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that just released batch of Juicy Bits.
Yeah.
So if I could get that, yeah, I would love to go get Codename Superfan, super fresh. Or even if they had it in the liquor store within, I would say 90 days of when it got brewed.
Yeah.
I've seen some like 3 to 4 months out, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is all right. I'll give it a try. I bought, and you spend that extra money for it, that $10 for a 6-pack, and you pop it open and it just doesn't taste right. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. I have to do more of a brewery buy or, major, Wilbur's buy next time. So I don't know. That's why I just went with Juicy Bits was I'm already going there and buying that week's whatever hazy IPA release. I might as well grab me a 4-pack. And it kept a concept for me this year.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that the hazy IPA will become now where it's just now that it's actually a recognized style.
Yeah.
I think now it's not going to be a kitschy thing that breweries have. I think it's going to be they have a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
And I hope that the craze of I have to have this brand new hazy IPA that just came out kind of dies off a little bit. Because honestly, with the exception of maybe 5 that I had this year, all of them just kind of tasted the same.
Yeah.
Cosmic Tyrannos or Space Cowboy, that one was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Triple Canopy from Outer Range, that one was very unique. That was the one that we had on the show that was like a 10% triple IPA. And I mean, well, I say there's a handful, but there aren't even more than two that I can just announce right
And
off the top of my
there's
head.
so many that came out, you can't really like go, oh yeah, that New England style IPA had was awesome.
Yeah.
But the beers I remember was like the Pilsner from Root Down and the Slow Pour Pils from Bierstadt and the lager that I had at Veteran Brothers. So it's just like, those are the beers that are standing out to me this year. It's just the hazy ones. Man, I had so many different ones, and I love drinking them. It just, they kind of flood in together.
Yeah.
There's not one that was like, oh my God, what about this one? Oh, wait,
Right.
no, because somebody did one that they put Galaxy Nelson in and Citra and Centennial in, or they did this and that, and that's it. That's all there is, you know?
Yeah.
Or with the lager, they had it, they added this little thing to it, or they lagered it for a certain amount of time, and it really made it crisp. Or they, like Wibbies and their IPL that they came out with. Man, that thing is freaking a solid beer, Indian Pale Lager, and it's taking another look at just an IPA. So, I don't know. Just there's so many hazies out there that it almost has to be one of those. Like you go to a brewery, they're just going to have one.
Yeah. So before I get into my prediction, we'll change the subject, and let's
change the beer.
Flip for another beer. This is our last beer. We'll wrap it up with this last beer of the show, especially since we're already pushing 2 hours.
Really? Mm-hmm. Feels like I've only been talking to you for 10 minutes.
Oh, that's sweet, buddy. But it's not true.
No. Well, you got the little timer on your side. Well, what happened to that was us waiting to see if Nick was going to come over.
That's true. All right, so here we go. Every time I flip it, you win. Come on, coin of destiny. So I have schizophrenic narcoleptic. This year's edition.
It's called schizophrenic.
Yes, this year's edition of Mockery Brewing's barrel-aged Imperial Coffee Stout.
And I just put up a bottle of Mininoche.
Just a regular old bottle.
Regular bottle of Mininoche.
All right, here we go. Oh, damn it.
You dropped it. Of course, on the last one.
Reflip. Last year, we all dropped it.
Oh, yeah we did.
Here we go. I win.
So we drink your beer.
Wow, I can't believe I won twice.
Oh,
I'm going to need the Whale Slayer for this one.
Where'd it go? I thought I already handed it to you. Matt is opening the
Schizophrenic narcoleptic.
With the Whale Slayer.
So,
if you want to buy a Whale Slayer, go to Beards by Nick. That's BEERDS.com.
Well,
I don't know.
You spelled it right.
I don't even think it's Beards by Nick, not Beards.com.
It's not .com either. No.
There we go. We lost another sponsor. My bad.
So, yeah, this is this year's Imperial Coffee Stout. Mockery.
I remember we had that first time. That was freaking awesome. I think it was like one of our first episodes.
It was one of our first episodes. That beer had aged for a year when we drank it on that episode.
So that was our GABF, right?
It might have been one of our GABF episodes.
We did so many.
We did so many
GABF
last year.
is such a big festival.
So many. All right, so my prediction for I have a couple kind of for 2019. Really, I have a lot, but one of the things that I said was kind of agreeing with you was the hazy IPA boredom.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to get kind of laid out. But I also think that lactose IPAs are going to people are going to get bored with those.
I hope so.
Mainly because
there's so many poopings going on.
there's lots of diarrhea bombs happening, but I just feel like it's a style that I don't enjoy. Honestly, I don't think that lactose. I think that lactose was added to hazy IPAs originally to give them that more soft, pillowy mouthfeel. But now that brewers have kind of understood how to make them properly and how to adjust their recipes properly, to make a hazy IPA, I don't think the lactose is necessary anymore.
Yes, listen, brewers, it's not necessary. There's no reason to add lactose to your beer. No reason.
Yeah. But I think my big prediction for this year is I think that Canarchy, the conglomerate or collective that was started by Oscar Blues,
The Borg.
I think we're going to see an increase of breweries joining Canarchy. And I think you're going to see, at the very least, a Pacific Northwest brewery that jumps into that. But also an upper Northeast brewery, like a Maine, Maryland, Pennsylvania brewery that jumps into that. And possibly a Midwest brewery.
Okay.
The Canarchy Collective, I mean, they have Perrin, Three Weavers, Cigar City, Wasatch.
Yep. What was the other? No, they have a cidery, or is that Wasatch?
No, Wasatch is an actual brewery. Well, Perrin brews ciders.
Oh, okay.
And then now they have a brewery that they just opened up in Austin. Oscar Blues opened one up in Austin.
Yep. They're in Asheville, Austin, and Colorado.
Yeah, so I think that they're going to catch the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
I think they're going to catch the Atlantic Northwest.
Okay.
And I think they're going to get somewhere in the Midwest.
So you mean Atlantic Northeast?
Northeast. Yeah, they're going to get the Atlantic Northeast.
Of the west side.
Yeah.
Wherever they're getting it, it's going to be on the west side of the east side.
Yeah. So they're gonna and then they'll catch something in the Midwest as well. I think they'll get something like maybe Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I think that's going to be, I don't see Anheuser-Busch, InBev buying up any more breweries this year.
Yeah, I think their brewery buying days are maybe slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. So I think that you're going to see Canarchy rising up. And
actually, I could see that happening. I could see them going to breweries that probably have really good beer, but maybe their regional location has kind of slowed down because of the opening of other breweries. And so I could really see them like going in and saying, hey, we could help you get distributing, get out there a little bit more, and people just jumping on, going, yeah, we can't do this little bubble anymore. And we need to get going. So
yeah, and canned beers are very popular right now.
Oh yeah,
and I think it's something that something we'll see in 2019. At least I hope it's something we'll see in 2019 because the breweries that have joined that collective
are freaking awesome.
Yeah, they've all been really good breweries.
Yeah,
so
I was amazed that Cigar City was even up for sale when they decided to join that.
Right. They were already doing great.
Oh yeah. I was like, why would you it was just one of those things you kind of blew your mind, but I mean, it was also one of those that I could see, with Wicked Weed and Funky Buddha, I never thought those guys would be selling to something different, and they did, you got to go ahead and do what you have to do in business, so.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my prediction for 2019. So what breweries are you going to watch out for 2019?
Local or national?
Both. Give me your couple of your local, couple of your national, or whatever you got.
Nationally, I'd like to. One on the list is actually it popped up recently, and it's going to have to be Turning Point. I am happy to say that I want to see what those guys come out with. I think they're going to put out some really great beer. So those are on my list to keep an eye out for. I think I said Root Down last year, and they actually started putting out a little bit more and more stuff.
You did talk about Root Down last year, and they won small brew
So,
pub of
hey,
the year.
man,
So.
Turning Point may be happy that I mentioned them. Nationally, I want to keep seeing what Stone does. Man, they're really flipping the thing with the 805. I want to see what other different beers they keep coming out with. Firestone Walker nationally keeps putting out really good beers. I'm sorry to say that I've had my third or fourth Treehouse beer. I'm still not impressed with what they're putting out.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
We may lose some listeners over that one.
Well, if someone could send me a super fresh Treehouse beer, then fine. I'll send you super fresh something from here. But I'm sorry to say, I am not really that satisfied on what they're putting out.
Alter Ego is one of my favorite Treehouse beers.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have written down what I had last time. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it just Scott sent it to me as a Christmas gift, and I was super excited about it. And it just tastes watered down. I just was not impressed by the beer. I mean, it had the look and the smell of a really good hazy IPA. The taste was there, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the so many hazies of the year that I'm just kind of I'll need to take a hazy break.
Yeah.
Get a haze patch and just kind of keep off the haze craze. But I want to see what happens with selling and combining. I'm with you. I think Canarchy will probably do something, but I actually think another collective will come together slowly of other breweries that are just like, oh man, we really need to get out of that area, but it costs so much to get out there that they're going to go to like Left Hand and say, hey, how about you brew this beer for us and we'll brew this, beer for you. And
Yeah.
you may have another collective going on. So
Yeah.
I see a lot of not really brewing collaborations, but brewing ventures with other breweries going on.
So what's your local brewery that you need to watch out for?
Right now, the one that we went to, I see Timnath Brewworks is gonna. I want to see what they do in 2019. They just opened up. I'm seeing promising things for them. And actually, what I'm really looking forward to 2018 is what Nick said last year. I want to see what he does.
Yeah.
I am.
Yep.
Pronghorn.
Pronghorn.
Yeah, I am.
That's
super
on my list as well.
I am
Yeah.
super excited to see what he does personally. I love the beers that he's done at Weld on his own little adventure going next year. I really I'm going to be excited to see. And I was excited when we had Coal Mine Avenue on last year and we did the interview and we just had him on. We finally go to the place and I am super excited with the beer they put out. They put out really good beer. Manuel Brewbacher is doing a great job of what he's brewing out there. I think he has his styles down, his beers down. I could see that they're going to be a little force down there in Denver, but for me, I'm happy for Nick, dude. That was news I did not hear about, and when he mentioned on the show, I was super excited. I was like, man, this is going to be awesome. I think Greeley needs that. I mean, they need somebody who could probably take a little bit of the town back from Weldworks. So
yeah, I agree with that. That was definitely on my list of breweries to watch in 2019. I think Pronghorn Ales is going to be a force to reckon with this year. Nick is a very talented brewer. He makes good beard oil, you can't go wrong with that. I also think that here locally, or at least in Colorado, Fiction is going to be one that starts coming out of the shadows a little bit. Fiction, they won a bronze medal this year. They have a brewer who is really finding her own now. Brittany is, she's starting to get her stride and starting to really get things dialed in over there. And I think that that's going to be a brewery that we watch out for this year here locally, and really see some really good beers from. But I think on a national level, there's two different things that I see as one is kind of a brewery that I'm excited about, and one is something that I see as becoming a trend. And Black Market Brewing, which won the gold medal for the Imperial New England style IPA or hazy juicy IPA. We got to interview them at GABF. I think that not only are they going to make a name for themselves, they've been around for a while, but I think that medal winning and the fact that they're dialing in recipes is going to make a name for them. But also there's kind of this new thing that's happening that's called the ancillary fermentation, and basically it's a pop-up tap room. So it's not a so they are a brewery, they have an established brewery, but they don't have a tap room. So when they decide to open their tap room, they do it kind of like a mini brew festival.
Oh, okay.
And so they have a beer release and they have a pop-up tap room that the only way you know about it is if you're following them and you know where they're going to pop up this tap room. And to me, it's unique because it's always in a different place. You never know what beers they're going to be releasing, and you never know when or where they're going to be doing it. So you just follow them and hope that you get to catch one of their beer releases.
Oh, kind of like a guerrilla concert.
Kind of, yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Maybe we'll do that, but with podcasting.
Yeah,
We'll just
do
go
a guerrilla
random
podcast.
Guerrilla podcast.
Yeah.
We'll just
yeah.
go into breweries and bring our equipment and just start setting up and just start recording.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's not only like something to watch in 2019, but I think it's a trend that we may see in 2019 where you have these collective breweries that just kind of create their own little mini releases or mini brew festivals to to have a beer release.
I mean, I'm with you. Sometimes I feel like there's too many beer festivals, that go on in Colorado, and I could see like some breweries like, oh, you going to this? No, because I'm sorry, we did this, this, and this, and like we provide the beer and we don't get any money from it. It is just something so showcase our beer. So I could see like going, why the fuck are we doing this? And why don't we just go and get with me, you, and we'll just do our little mini thing here.
Do a collective.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I think that would be really cool. Guerrilla beer festivals. Yeah. Not with actual gorillas.
Yeah. Well, if you're there, it's a guerrilla beer festival.
Well, okay.
Well, I got to taste a couple beers from the ancillary fermentation project, and both beers that I had were awesome.
Oh, really?
So I could see it, and now I have the hiccups. But I could see it as a force for 2019.
The next year, the thing.
The next thing, yeah.
The next hazy thing in beer, besides IPAs and lagers and everything else that is beer related.
Well, hopefully you don't have a hazy lager.
That'd be really weird. Isn't it called like oh God, I forgot what the name of it is. I'll think of it. I'll probably at the end of the podcast I'll mention the name as we go
just
out.
Spurt it out.
So, any personal goals for next year?
Yeah. I'd like to focus on the new YouTube channel a lot.
Okay.
Get that going. I want to create a lot more content for our patrons.
Both of them?
Yeah. We love our patrons, and we appreciate the support that we get. And so I want to create a little bit more content for them, and I want to start writing again. God damn, I wish I could get rid of my hiccups. Maybe that should be my first goal, is get rid of my hiccups.
Because I could have took a question right now, and I decided not to. I decided to ask you a question because you have the hiccups.
Dick move. But I want to start writing. I want to start writing again. I want to start writing more. I want to get more content on the website.
Dude, so, like, if you guys don't know, the podcast came from the blog, and Matt did the blog for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And dude, I always follow this blog. We've been friends for at least 12 years. And when he started the blog, it was one of those things that I supported him on. I thought it was a great idea. The guy has an interesting view on craft beer. Not always right, but an interesting view. But what made help me out is because he always would call me or text me and say, "Hey, I want to go visit this brewery. You want to go with me?" So it gave me a chance to go drink beer. So I was always gung ho to go. So if you haven't had a chance, go check out the blog at the Hopheads Guide. I don't know if he's posted any new writings since 2 or 3 years ago.
I haven't wrote anything since we started the podcast.
So, but it helped to form this podcast. I came to the stuff that he was talking about his bloggings. We talked about beer, and then came to this thing. So, if it wasn't for the blog, I don't think would do the podcast. So,
Probably true.
yeah. So I would look forward to the writing. I would be happy that you would do that because I think there's stuff out there that needs to get into written form that we miss on here. And I think that would be a great idea. Me, right? Me, no. It would be a whole bunch of grammatical errors and...
Oh, my grammar's not great.
My grammar fucking sucks. You guys listen to me on this shit all the time.
So, what? Oh, shit.
They're back again.
Gotta fight through it. Man, as much as we've coughed and hiccuped on this show, you'd think we were smoking weed all episode.
Nope. We should do a weed podcast, dude.
Oh, shit, I can't do that. All right, so what are your new... Why did I get the hiccups all of a sudden? What are your new beer resolutions for 2019?
My new beer resolution for next year is kind of a simple one. I had the 100 breweries last year. I did not accomplish that. So I am going to keep posting till I get to 100. So I am going to try to reach 100 breweries. I probably won't do 75 next year, but I like the idea of posting about new breweries to me. So I'm going to keep doing that on my Instagram account. So that's going to keep going. That's
Congratulations to the 91 people that actually
yeah. And you're 3 of them, dick. But for a goal for next year is don't add to the cellar. I want to take my cellar down to under 75 bottles. So to push that, I'd like to push a lot of more bottle shares. And with Cap Savers, I have actually been popping open a lot of my cellar bottles and be just drinking a little bit out of them each day of the week. Nothing too big, just, getting a taster glass, doing 4 or 5 ounces, and then finishing off the bottle come Friday. So I'd like to trim my cellar down a little bit. For the podcast, I'd love to, I'm trying to add more content, but more shirt designs for next year. I think getting a pre-sale on some stuff, coming up with new ideas. And hey, you guys out there, if you guys have ideas to do with our logo or a good idea for a shirt, hit us up. I'd love to try to make money off of it. So, I love my first design for next year. I want to do a St. Patty's Day shirt for you guys. And then a beer festival shirt, something you guys could wear to every beer fest. And it's not going to have our logo all over the place, just maybe on 95% of the shirt. So the other 5% will have say, hey, this is my beer fest shirt. So, but other than that, like a 4th of July, Christmas shirts, Thanksgiving, Halloween shirts, different, throughout the year. And you don't have to buy all of them, but I really appreciate it. So...
So buy shirts from Brownie.
Yep. I mean, it goes to the podcast. It's not all goes to me. I love designing new stuff. I did
Brownie shirts 2019. I like the idea.
I think, the stickers didn't really take off well because they're so expensive to ship. Fucking mail. And postage is only going to go up next year. Thanks government, UPS on my nuts. So I don't know. I think for us, I would like to expand the podcast more. My goal personally, when I go to festivals, is to hand out at least 25 of our business cards. I think I did that at Denver Beer Festivus. I actually think I handed out. I counted. I took about 50 cards with me, and I came home with 15. I know I dropped some, but I really put our card out and our name out there as much as I could.
That counts. If you drop them,
Yeah.
it counts. You're still handing them out. Somebody's going to see them when they're stuck to the bottom of their shoe.
Oh yeah. So, and I would love to have more interviews, as much as we can get. But I think that we're doing a great job, and just expand it a little bit more.
I love those goals because it's all about the podcast.
Well, yeah.
I was a lot more selfish.
Well, you had hiccups, so. I think last year I made it about me, but this year I think I want to expand what we have going on.
Yeah.
I think we have a good format. I don't think other people are doing what we're doing. I am tired of the beer review of that's good. Can you taste the coconut in that? I get a back feel of caramel. That's good. Like guys drinking. I like the way we do it. It's based off a score. Our score could go any which way.
Yeah.
It could be a crappy beer, and it could get a 2 on the beer, but the fucking design of the bottle is awesome, and it could get a 37.
I do like our new format of beer shorts. I hate my hiccups, but I like our new format of beer shorts. Oh shit! I think what I'm most excited about is episode 50 this year, and what we decide to do with that.
Oh, yeah, so we're at, what, 40?
This will be 47.
47, so we just got 3 more.
Yeah.
God, I mean, I listen to other podcasts, and they've been doing it for like 5 years. They're just getting to like 100. That's 20 a year. We pushed it through this year. We did almost.
Yeah, last year we did. Shit.
Count it. Can we count it with hiccups? We did 1, 2, 3. That was a good one. It popped the earphones. People in Nebraska to hear that shit.
All right, I'm done.
I'm done. Look, I've had the hiccups for so long.
I can't do it anymore.
Stupid narcoleptic.
I like this beer though.
Oh, dude, it is a really, really great beer. So, I really don't want to ask you a question because you're a hiccup. But it's a good question. The first time I came up with it, or this time, which is better?
The first one.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit more chocolatier. The first one, it had a little bit more balance. This tastes really good. It just doesn't seem like it's balanced as well.
Yeah, I agree. This one leans a little bit more on the
The hiccup side.
on the roasty side, and yeah. I don't think I'm going to edit this episode. I'm just going to leave it. Let it run. All the coughs and everything.
With the coughs and the hiccups and the snorting and the excuse me's. The burps.
All right, Hotbeds and Beer Geeks. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Hotbeds Guide podcast.
You want me to do this?
Yeah, why don't you do this part?
I was waiting for it. I was like, he's really going to close out the show.
I can't do it.
Hey there, Hotbeds and Beer Geeks. Thank you for joining us with this episode of the Hotbeds Guide podcast. Like us on podcast, Podbean, whatever listening device you're on right now. We're on all of them. We're on all of them. All of them. When you get a chance, like our Facebook page, because, why not? And if you have another chance, go to our sponsor, Beards by Nick. I'll spell it out for you, but I really don't want to. But he makes great beard oil, beard cream, beard wipes. And he's going to do some fluffy stuff for your balls here in the near future. He should call it fluffiness for your balls. Sorry, that just came to me. You got to text Nick on that one. Not undercarriage. It should be called fluffiness for your balls.
He actually listens, so I'm sure that he'll catch that.
Like, he's like, I'm totally going to do it. And if you have money, I know you do, Dave. Join the patrons page. We're going to do some exclusive content. Not inclusive. Exclusive. Inclusive. Pacific, not Pacific. Content for that page, like videos. I don't know what kind. Random questions to people. I don't know what questions. And beer reviews. I don't know what beers we're going to drink, but we're going to have them on there. And I hope to see you guys in 2019, because if I don't, then we're probably going to lose some money and going to have to stop doing this shit.
Yeah, all 42 of you that listen.
All 42 and our 3 patrons. Is that what you usually say at the end of the show? I try to gist it up without the hiccups.
Close enough.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening. It was a great 2018. Here's to a great, even better 2019. I think you probably stopped recording already, and I'm doing this rant, right?
No, it's still running.
Okay.
It's still running.
I'd like to thank the guys who came on the show this year. We had Lost Highway. That was probably it. We didn't really interview a lot of them. Nick was here. Alyssa and Allison were on. Nick for coming on again. Blake, obviously, always Blake comes on. We had another Justin that doesn't ever make it right, so was on.
We had that one guy that works at Wilbriggs.
Oh, Wade? Yeah, Wade. We had Wade on. Rocky Mountain Beer Club. Brew Club. Beer Clubs for Men. Rocky Mountain Beer Clubs for Men. Wade was on. Thank you for Wade for joining us.
It's a fancy name.
Okay, well you could edit it in later.
Edit it.
We haven't did that many interviews this year.
We really haven't.
Oh, the guys, we're the Florida guys that we did.
Tank Brewing.
Oh, we'd like to thank the guys at Tank Brewing for coming onto the show. We did a phone interview with them. Next time you guys are in Colorado, hopefully you guys could actually come into the studio and do an actual face-to-face interview.
Valley Homebrewers Guild.
Here's Poudre Valley's Homebrewers Guild.
Yeah, Wade is from Poudre Valley Homebrewers Guild.
I'd like to thank Wade and the Poudre Valley Homebrewers Guild for being on the show. And I think about it, but I'd like to thank our listeners this year for, listening and pushing on the good word of craft beer. We promise to try to expand this, get more interviews, more good content, better content, less hiccups, technically and biologically. And I think that's about it. So I hope you guys had a good 2018. And here's to a fabulous 2019.